In this video, we want to see whether the sum from n equals 2 to infinity of natural log at over n square root of n converges or diverges. So we're going to use the integral test. So we're going to integrate this from 2 to infinity, ln of x over x square root of x dx. And I'm going to simplify this and rewrite x times the square root of x as x to the 3/2 power. And then from here, I'm going to use integration by parts, and we're going to use a acronym LIATE. So this will be the choice of u. That's the first letter here stands for logarithm, so that's going to be the natural log, and then dv will just be the rest. So that's 1 over x to 3/2 power, which I'm just going to rewrite it as x to negative 3/2 dx. And the derivative of the natural log is just 1 over x dx. And the antiderivative of x to negative 3/2 is x to negative 1/2, and then we're dividing it by negative 1/2, which is multiplying by negative 2. And now we're going to multiply u times v. Minus integral v du. I'm going to simplify this, so this is negative 2, and I'm going to have square root of x on the bottom like that, and then the two negatives will make it positive, and then the 2 comes outside. We have x to negative 1/2 times 1 over x. 1 over x is negative to the negative first power, so that's x to negative 1/2 times x to negative 1 is x to negative 3/2. So you have negative 2 ln of x square root of x. And then here we're going to add 1 in the exponent to make it negative 1/2. And then we're going to divide by negative 1/2, which is the same thing as multiplying by negative 2. So this simplifies. Now we want to evaluate this from 2 to infinity, but instead of going to infinity, we'll call r going to infinity. So we'll plug in r, and then subtract it, plug in 2. As r approaches infinity, 4 over square root of r, that's going to go to 0. And then we just need to focus on negative 2 ln of r over square root of r. That's going to be negative infinity over infinity, so we can use L'Hopital's rule. So you take the derivative of negative 2 ln of r, which is negative 2 over r, and then the derivative of square root of r is basically 1 over 2 root r, which we're going to rewrite this. So multiply the negative 2 with the 2 root r, that's going to be negative 4 root r, and that's going to be over r, which again we can simplify. Negative 4 over root r, which is 0. So this whole thing is 0. So you have 0 minus 0 is 0, and then minus the negative 2 ln of 2 root over root 2 minus 4 root 2. So this negative is going to distribute to both, and we get 2 ln of 2 over root 2 plus 4 over root 2. And if you want, you can simplify this as root 2 ln of 2 plus 2 root 2. So because this is a finite answer, the series converges by the integral test.